Hey kids, I'm back. Fresh coffee. Well, not back. I'm actually here. Um, who we got here? Bumble is the first dating app that I used, and it did work. YouTube saying I'm lonely. Sorry, but the film I might say might be built later. Just plumb out of money. Yeah, I know the feeling. Whenever you're ready. Hey, Lawrence. Yep, coffee brewed now. Brewed. Good to see everybody. I really look forward to these Sunday afternoon film chats. I feel like we got a great little group here. Nice little tight-knit group. Hey, there's Barry. Iced tea. I love iced tea. Sweet or unsweet? That is the question. Hey, there's Mike. Coffee got cold. Go warm it up, will you? Hey, I got a question for you guys really quick. So I'm ever trying to figure out. I have such a small space in here. Travis has been here. He knows what I'm talking about. But it's a very small little space, and I'm trying to figure out the lighting because this camera obviously I got it kind of on auto everything, and it's always overly bright. And so I only have 2 lights on in this entire little space, but I have an overhead light there that might light things up. Am I coming in okay? Because I might try to turn that overhead light on and see if that helps at all. Got other things you got to finish taking care of. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know the feeling. Switch to the Red Bull. Yeah, Travis, Red Bull. My wife drinks Red Bulls. I don't. Ugh. Too much sugar for me. You're young enough; it doesn't really bother you. How much you done with those little money? Yeah, repair my Fisher tape deck. Yeah, that sounds cool. Barry, coffee from a wading pool. I'm assuming you like it black. Looks good. Thanks, Mike. Okay. Hey, Lyle. There you are. Oh, you do sugar free. Yeah. My wife drinks like those yellow ones. Whew. Those things are creepy. Well, good. All right. So everything's coming in good. I'm gonna leave that light off then. Usually everything's so overly bright. Also, one thing I want to mention: the last live stream I did, my live streams they upload to my channel automatically when the live stream is over. And for some reason, I don't know if it was a setting that I got wrong or something, but for some reason, I'm only getting 360p out of it. So if you watch the live stream after the fact, you'll notice that it's really artifact heavy and fuzzy. I don't know why that is. I really haven't changed any settings, but I did switch this one. It's a little bit more involved with this camera. There's certain settings that if you use those settings, you can't use the zoom, and if you don't, then you can. And so anyway, I just set it to 1080p on today's stream. We'll see what happens, but I'm a little disappointed that the last live stream is it's just such low quality when you rewatch it. So something I'm going to work on. We'll see what happens. It's a place I can send my Sony C-mount lens to clean up the elements. You know, I've never sent a lens out, but I'm sure there are people that will do it. It might cost you more than getting another lens. The Sony C-mount lenses are really not that expensive. And those Sony video cameras are not expensive really anymore either. Really, Barry? I gotta figure out why. I don't like that, obviously. I don't want it at 360p. I'm gonna look. I use software called OBS. So let me look at actually on YouTube side. I don't know. I don't know why it's in such low resolution. Can you change it, Barry? Are you able to change your settings to see? Can you go higher with your resolution on your end? I mean, it has to be OBS, but it's something I'm gonna have to work on then, obviously. I don't know if it'll let me open the settings while I'm in here. Stream. Sorry guys, I know this should have been done. I'm such a rookie when it comes to base resolution 16 by 9, but it won't let me change it. It says 640 by 360, output 640 by 360, and I don't know why. Okay. We don't measure it in pixels. You're right. We measure it in content. You're right about that. I know I'm going to butcher that name. M.N. Ragnar. Yeah. One for I tried. Only showing. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, I should probably, obviously should have checked this before I started the stream. I can see it though, on my end. I can see where it says 640 by 360, and I don't know how to change it, unfortunately. Because everything's grayed out, so sorry. We'll have to fix it for next time, I guess. So if you're watching this after the fact, we know now, those of you that are currently watching it, but I'm not able to change the resolution, and I don't know why. I've gone into the camera settings, I've gone into the overall settings, and I can't figure out why. So the lighting looks great. Thank you. Yeah, I only have 2 lights on. I have one right in front, and then one that's kind of, I turned everything else off just because everything's been so bright lately when I do live streams. I'm going to try one more thing. I just have to look. See, on my, when I configure the video, it says resolution is custom, resolution 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. I don't know. All right, I'm not going to mess with it anymore because I'm wasting valuable time. 360 2po. Got it. The lighting was okay. So anyway, that's what's happening. My last live stream, I know everything is at 360, and I'm afraid this one's probably going to be the same, which is a shame. But I don't know how to fix that right now. I will fix it by the next one, I promise. Stop and restart the stream should fix it. Yeah, but the only thing is, I don't know how to fix it when I stop and restart. I'm assuming that since I'm actually streaming, that's why it's not letting me change the settings. Like when I click on the video settings for the stream, I see base resolution and output resolution, and they're both at 640 by 360. I don't ever remember setting them for that. Previous to my last live stream, they were all fine. They were all at 1080, but I don't understand why. Why it's not letting me change it now. If anybody knows OBS software, let me know if we can change it midstream, but I'm sure we can't. So we're going to have to deal for now. Did you plug your shoe in again? Stop and restart. Did you plug it in? I don't know what that means. Yeah, everything's plugged in. When I hit configure video, it's just not. Let me try defaults and see what that does. And that didn't change anything. Okay. All right, we're going to have to deal with it. I do blame Elon. Oh, you're just joking. Okay. So anyway, that's what's going on. Live streams, I'm sorry. I'll have it fixed hopefully by, because I'll do a little YouTubing myself, and we'll have it all fixed by the next live stream. Anyway, something I wanted to talk about last live stream, was I get a lot of inquiries about Kodachrome and Ektachrome E160 film. And a lot more people are shooting it now. It's really inexpensive, except for the sellers that try to gouge. But you usually can pick up old Ektachrome and old Kodachrome Super 8 film really, really inexpensively. And I do get a lot of emails, and I get people that request me to process their film, Kodachrome and Ektachrome, the old, not the new Ektachrome. And I don't mind doing it. The problem is most people don't know how to identify what's old and what's not old. Well, it's all old, but old and older. There's a lot of new old stock, and there's a lot of new older stock. So I had a photo here that I was going to, and it's mainly, you know, Kodachrome is so hit and miss anyway, but it's mainly Ektachrome. You're going to get much better results out of the old Ektachrome anyway than you are Kodachrome, unless you get the newer, like I would say mid process before date, mid 90s and beyond. Forward, not back. So anything in the 2000s, as long as you overexpose it by 2 to 4 stops, then you probably get decent black and white footage. But anything beyond, past, older than process before, like 95, 96, you're really taking a chance on Kodachrome. Ektachrome. There were a couple different Ektachrome 160s. You tried. Yeah, I know. I want to show you a picture that I put together of, if you look at an Ektachrome cart, and you would have thought I would have had it with me, but it's okay, I have a picture. It is impossible, Travis, to overexpose old Ektachrome. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember, but I have a camera that I converted right here. You guys got to see this. If you haven't seen the video, you should go back and look for it. And I created a camera. This is an old Shannon 132p XL for existing light. A fun little camera. It's a fixed focus and whatnot. I know I'm straying. I'll get back to it in a second. But the meter is stuck in this, and it's stuck to overexpose, greatly overexpose, and I found that out the hard way from using a good roll of Tri-X in it. And it came back, and I could hardly see the pictures. Everything was so bright. But I now use it for Kodachrome only, and you can see I even renamed it Kodacam 40. And it works great for old Kodachrome because it overexposes it by about 4 stops. But if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I think it's called, I don't know, does your Super 8 camera work properly or something like that. So the trick with Ektachrome is you got to try to find the newer old Ektachrome. And there's a good way to find out. If it's process EM26, then it's a little bit newer. So you want to really look for, process before dates on your Ektachrome 160, 85 and newer. 84 sometimes, it just depends. I mean, there's beginning of the year and end of the year, so it can be a little tricky. I think they switched from EM24 to EM26, I believe, in 1981. So film that was actually manufactured in late 81, early 82 is going to have a process before date, probably of around 84-ish. So to be safe, if you get 85 process before, I don't like to use expiration dates. It's not an expiration date, it's a process before date. Because if it was expired, we wouldn't be able to use it. Think milk and cheese and butter and stuff. That's expired. Bread turns green. You really don't want to use that when it's expired. But with film, it's processed before. Let me show you this picture really quick. This is a good way to tell. If you can see the cartridge itself, you can see the oldest ones typically are going to have the blue rectangle. You see those little rectangles on the label? If it's a blue rectangle with either white or gold print, typically that means it's old. And if you look right above the rectangle, you see no process type. If you look at the other ones, the newer would be a white rectangle with blue writing, and right above it it says process EM26, and the newest ones had that kind of clear rectangle that matched the color of the label itself with the blue writing. That's the newest stuff, and that's usually processed before like 88-ish, something like that. But you want to try to find the newer or the newest, and that's where you're going to get your best results. The older stuff, like I was saying, that the emulsion needed a pre-hardener, and you can ask Travis there, the celluloid alchemist. I did a roll. He begged me to do it in color, and I said, please, let's not do that. But he begged me, and when people beg, I'm okay with that. And I did it. Tried to do it in color, and it was too hot. I suppose you could try to do it in E6 at room temp or cooler, but I don't like doing that. And all the emulsion just melted off. It looked like a snake shedding inside the tank. So the emulsion's really soft on the old stuff. Try to find the new stuff, the newer stuff. All right, and Kodachrome, just stay away from it, or get newer Kodachrome stuff. All right, so many sellers have boxes without dates. Yeah, I know, Mike. That happens. The dates actually, I think, were always there. They just wear off over time. Type A stuff, yeah. But they made Type A and G in both, in the Ektachrome, in the older stuff and the newer stuff. So more so, just look for EM26 stuff. That's really what you want to look for. Kodacam 40. Yeah, I love that little camera. It takes great pictures. In fact, I might try to get one that works, that has a good meter in it. Yeah, those radio there, those are going to be the older ones, processed before 11 of 82. That's going to be the old stuff. And people also ask me, can you do it in color? Well, yeah, I mean, I can try to process it in color. You're either going to have a big gooey mess, or you're going to have some really nasty, kind of muted, off balance color splotches in your film. It's possible to get color out of the newer Ektachrome 160, but just personally, I know a lot of people have done it, but I've never seen any that look, stunning. Kodak Ektachrome 160T Type A also likes to jam a lot. Yeah, it just gets stuck in the cartridge. Thanks. Can I beg for? Yeah, Mike, here. You can have it. Here you go. There you go. Take it. Can you get it? You know what's funny? I took this to Indiana with me. I just last month, my family and I went to Indiana to see my mom and some relatives, and it's loaded up with one of my favorite old black and white stock 7231 Plus X. And it was so cold, and we did so much visiting. We were there a week, and I didn't have time to really shoot much. I shot about half the roll, and the other half is still in there, waiting to be shot. So always a lot to do and never enough time. You got it. That's it. You grabbed it. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about and see who remembers. Travis and I had a little conversation, a little text conversation earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday, about some old film formats. And I get just so like warm and fuzzy when I think about some of the old formats that we had back in the 70s and 80s. And so I have a few. I don't know, you probably can't see them, but I have a few out here right now that I want to show, and I want to see how many of you remember them, because I know there's some of you out there that are considerably younger than I am. So it might be kind of fun to see who can remember some of these. Let's start with probably the most recognizable. Let me think here. Which one's more recognizable? Travis, you'll like this one. This. All right. Who can tell me what that is? It was today, 9:28 a.m. Yes. I get an Airy, but I badly need a computer. Mac. Yeah, I need a new computer too. I need a new desktop computer. All right. What is this? Anybody know? Boom. Yes, it is. It's a disc camera. Good job. Yes, Michael. And it took these thingies. It was a tiny little, I don't know, that's an 1/8 of an inch thick probably, by, I don't know, 2.5, 3 inches wide by about the same. And it took these little discs, and there's 15, I don't have one that's processed, and there's 15 images that you could take, and you took your little disc camera, this one still works, you lift up the lever on top, and you pop it open. You guys remember these? Yeah, mine does work. And then you just lay your disc flat right in there. There's the gate right there, the little opening where your film gets exposed, but it's got a little black cover over it, kind of like Polaroid. And you just laid it in there like so, cover it, and then you have 15 shots ready to go. And if you were lucky enough to have one with the flash, then you were good to go too. This one has a flash, it does work. This roll right here, or this disc, has already been fully exposed. But I do have some brand new stuff. They discontinued it quite some years ago. I'm going to guess somewhere in the late 90s, because I have 2 boxes of this, which there's 2 discs in there. See that? I know the light's going to mess you up, but look at the expiration. I thought this was kind of cool. I've had this for a while. Tell me if you guys can see that expiration. I'm trying to do it where the light doesn't. No, you can't really see it. But I'll read it. It says final run 9 of 97 on the bottom there for expiration. So I have this frozen. I had it frozen. And I'm going to try to shoot this. I'm going to actually do a video all about maybe either just disc film or about all of these lost formats at some point, and do some processing. I actually have, and if Dave Knopp was here, he'd make fun of me, but I do have some carriers under here that work great in my, these negative solutions carriers are great, that work great in my flatbed scanner. Yes, that's a pair of pliers, but here's one that I got for disc film. They're just 3D printed, and you just lay it in your scanner, and you can lay 2 discs in there. They actually make a new one now that even does more. There's 110 film, I believe. Yeah, 110 and 16 millimeter, and I have a few of these different ones. What is that? Oh, that's 110 film. Oh, this is APS, which we're getting to. Okay, enough about that. That's disc. All right. And I actually have a bunch. Would anybody be interested in any sort of a found film, still films? Because I have tons of it. Tons and tons of it. Yeah, they were terrible radios. I know your name is Andrew. I don't know why I'm calling you radios. But they were terrible. The quality was so bad on these because the image size is so tiny that they just didn't make it very long. They just developed the same. They did. These are C41. Actually, they're C41A. And with as much research as I've done, I have processed a few of these in my Patterson tank just by letting them sort of fall around in there. I'm not positive what C41A is, but I've done them in just plain C41 and they've come out. So, well, Lyle, this ancient magic. It is. It is magic. For people who think 110 has amazing quality. 110's coming up next. Ta-da! Look at this, by the way. This is how you could get what they would call a camera outfit back in the day. This is a nice, kind of like the Bolex leather, that leatherette covered pleather case. This is a Vivitar. You ready? The Vivitar 602, and you can imagine like this pretty lady or some celebrity advertising this. It's as easy as pointing and shooting. I even have the batteries. You guys remember Radio Shack? It's still got the batteries, whoever originally had this camera. This is 110, and I have a 110 ready to be shot. I don't think this one's exposed at all, but this was a 110 cartridge. See those? It looked like the old 126s, only it was tiny. This is 16 millimeter film. It's 16 millimeters wide, no perforation. So you could use that, what do they call it? They call the microfilm. Yeah, because that is 16 millimeter film without perforation. So you can reload these. I have a couple that I've opened up. You have to be very careful, but you can reload these because I don't think you can get new film for that anymore. This is how it would come. It would come in a box, and it would be packaged just like so. And you would put it, this actually has some in it that I've been shooting. Took some pictures of my dog today and my wife and my daughter. But this is a typical 110 camera. You guys remember these little rectangles? And I have this one. I just bought this one in my little trip to Indiana. And I got it because it was such a cool looking camera. Blue's my favorite color. So I found this blue one. Look at that. And it's in perfect condition. And with these cameras, you use your finger on top at the shutter release, and then your thumb right on the bottom. They have this little slide, and you slide it, and then boom, it clicks once. Slide it, clicks. All that does is advance your film. Click, and then they have a little battery compartment there on the side. This one has it somewhere. Oh, right here for your batteries. Now this one has a flash, and this one does too. But with the film, you just pop it on the back, and it just sort of sets in there. You just pop this, that should fall down, and then you take your film and just set it in there, just like that. They were very easy. It was very Super 8-like, where you could just put your Super 8 cartridge in your camera. There's no focusing, and then you just, and you got, I think, what did you get, like 12 shots out of this? You didn't get 24. Oh, you did. This is a 24 exposure. So you got 24 shots out of this. I think they also had 12 exposure ones. But this was probably the most popular because it was easy to carry. This was a pocket camera. I used this in the 70s, late 70s and in the 80s because that's what I had. They were really inexpensive. The film was cheap. It was cheap to get developed. And the images were okay. They weren't too bad. Think 16 millimeter. I mean, they really didn't come out all that bad. So, anyway, that was this. And this one, you know what I'm going to do? This one has the flash. We're going to let that warm up for a second. And I'm going to catch up here. Oh, yeah. Travis bought a lot of 8 disc cameras, and none of them work. I had to put them in condition one out. Yeah, they're tricky. You got to look them up. The disc cameras, you want to find the ones that take batteries, not the ones that have their own internal battery. You want to find there's only like 3 or 4 different models of the Kodak ones that take a battery that you can install. The others have just rechargeable batteries, and they go bad, and the camera's never going to work. So try to find the model. This is the 3000, the Kodak Disc 3000. And oh, they had didn't it fold down or something? I don't know. I haven't used this thing in forever. I don't know. Some of them fold down, and you got something to hold on to. So yeah, you got to find the ones that takes a 9-volt battery. I can still scan APS format. What do you call it? What do you do with a disc? Well, like I showed, you may have caught it since then, but you can scan. I just scan my disc film with that little negative solution disc film holder, and I do have an APS holder now too. My wife got me one for Christmas. Filmography makes fresh 110. I did not know that. That's good to know, though. Negative size was smaller than 110. Yes, Nicholas, it was. The disc film is absolutely tiny. I wish I had one out here to show you, but I don't know the frame size offhand, but it was tiny. And I think that's why, and it took special scanners back in the 80s to be able to scan it, and not everybody had them, you know, the companies. One of those APS. Okay, APS. Yeah, you guys want to talk APS? Let me put this one. Oh, wait. Here we go. Boom. I didn't blind anyone, did I? So we're going to put this away, and we're going to talk APS. APS. All right. That's 110. Let's talk. We went over disc. We went over 110. Let's talk. Now, sadly, I have another APS camera somewhere. This is actually a pretty nice one, but it doesn't work. But it's a Nikon APS. And it's pretty advanced. You know, it's got all the settings, the dates, and the panorama, and all that good stuff. Well, when you open the camera, you slide it open, it's supposed to turn it on. You know how the little lens comes flying out. It's got the battery compartment. It takes a little 3-volt battery in the bottom. And to load it, and let me show you. APS, as many of you may or may not know, would come, you know, something like this. This is a brand new roll that has a process before date of, I can't find, probably a long, long time ago. Oh, 8 of 2008. So don't expect much out of. Color film was very tricky to get good images out of. Old. So what you did with this, on the where the strap is on that side here, you twisted it, and it would pop open like that. You see that? Pop open. You take your little cartridge here, and it has little contacts on one side of it, and you just popped it in, snapped it closed. You're ready to shoot. Like I say, this camera doesn't work. I have another APS camera around here somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. So that was the funny thing about APS, that if you don't know, it was very easy to identify if your roll of film had been exposed or not, because they have these little 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the bottom, and then right on the cartridge itself, the 1 you're not going to be able to see, or maybe you can see the little white dot there on the bottom. That's 1. If the white goes over to 2, which is a little half moon, the 2 means, see, it has a little legend right on it. It means that it's partially exposed. The white dot means nothing is exposed. The number 2 means partially. If it's on number 3, which is the X, it means it's fully exposed. And then if you follow it around to the number 4, which is a sort of, it looks like either a square or a tiny rectangle, that means it's fully exposed and processed. Now, they had a special machine for this stuff that processors used, that you put it in and it pulled the film out inside the machine, and then it would process it, and then the film would go back inside the machine, or inside the cartridge. So essentially, if you have a fully exposed and processed one, and it's on that 4 there, then you just have negatives stuck inside here. It's not like you do with 35 or any other format where you get your negatives back. Well, you get your negatives back on this, but really you had to send this back to the lab to get prints made. There is a way to pop these out. You can just put something in here and twist it, and it opens the little door, and you can pull them out, which is the easiest way to get them out nowadays. But this was interesting because everything was done inside the cartridge. I mean, the machine would pull the film out, process it, but then you had to put the film back inside here, and it's stored forever, your negatives fully developed inside the cartridge. That, kids, is APS, and they no longer make that either. I'm way behind. Okay, I got 2 more formats we're going to go over. Camera loaded. You got it loaded. Yeah, I'm way behind. Oh, thanks, Lyle. Cool topic. Just call me radios. I will, radios. Pun intended. Lawrence, old photos have a great charm. I really like the old ones. There's a little moth or something flying around. Did you guys see that? I agree with that, Lawrence. There really is something about the old photos. Even, I really like old Polaroids are cool. Polaroids were interesting because you really never knew. If you could find old Polaroids, you really never know what they're going to be, because they didn't have to be sent away to be processed. So there was no embarrassment factor, really. You guys know what I'm talking about. 110 gold, still fine. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a bunch of this that's fully exposed. I need to process it. Yes, Mike, we're getting there. I know I'm a little behind on the chat, but you're talking about the Minox. We'll be there in just a second. Somebody is, sorry guys. Oh. My wife is texting me, guys. 1 second. She's doing an errand for my older brother. Okay. Sorry, tiny, Lyle. Tiny binoculars. They look like it. God, I'm so behind. Ectrolight? I don't know what that is. 10. You blanked. Oh, the flash. Yeah, Mike. Gonna shoot 110 pics with my phone. Ooh. APS is not the same as 35 millimeter, Mike. The same size. I think APS is 24 millimeters wide, I believe. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around the 24 millimeter range. You know what we can do? We can look. This is an APS holder. I use it a lot. Yeah. So here's 16 millimeter, and here's APS. I know it's going to be hard to tell. It's a little bigger. I believe it's 24 millimeters, the APS. I thought of loading 35 millimeter cartridges with APS if possible. You could do that. You would want to put obviously a buffer on each side of it. I've seen people use 16 millimeter in those. Cartridge based 35 millimeter is called 126. We're getting there. We're getting there. I just acquired a 126 camera and film. God, I'm so far behind. Sorry, guys. So much for every stream. Oh, thanks, Lyle. Advantix C400 is my APS camera. Yeah, I have an Advantix camera somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. Hey, Cecil, how are you, buddy? Don't you do it again. That might get confusing. Yeah. What should I do with old APS cartridges, the film inside? Well, Mike, you can take it out. You can take it out and look at it and see what it is. You can scan it. You can buy these little holders for APS. They sell them on Amazon. They're sold by Negative Solutions. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they do good work. I have about 4 of theirs. My mom had a Polaroid. She would fix each picture with something that looked like a chapstick. Yeah, that was an old Polaroid. You had to put that waxy stuff on top of them. I don't even remember what that was, but yes, I know exactly, Lawrence, what you're talking about. Yes, the shine was white with a blonde. I have a bunch of Polaroid cameras. Polaroid film is just so expensive. Yeah, that scent, Mike. Oof. I grew up with those old Polaroids and the stuff we wiped on them. Yeah, I don't remember what that was, but it did look like chapstick. The hardener tree. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yep. Thank you. It was a hardener. Oh, thanks, Travis, for posting that. The formats. Unexposed. Oh, unexposed, Mike. Well, you could shoot it. There's not much of a market for it anymore. Most people won't buy it, but I would say have fun with it and shoot it. The problem is you're going to have to, in the dark, you're going to have to take it out and try to process it. And I don't know how. I don't know how you would do that. And you could get it in a Patterson tank, I'm sure. I made 16 millimeter. You can get 16 millimeter film in a Patterson tank. I did a video on exactly how to do that. Yeah, I hope that's still good, Mike. Those go bad pretty quick. They start leaking, those old Polaroid packs. Film for continuity. Yes, Lawrence, a huge factor for continuity. You always had the actors that would, do their thing. You Polaroided their hair and their hands and the table and what position everything was in. Yeah. We used Polaroids. I know a lot of you don't know this fact, but I used to be a police officer. I was a police officer for about 10 years, and our patrol cars, and when I was a detective as well, and that's what we used. It was I started in the very mid 90s, and we used Polaroid cameras for everything. I became a crime scene technician as well, and I used 35 millimeter, but Polaroids were our go-to. In fact, film even back then was so expensive that after we would break our briefing, if you needed a roll of film or a pack of film for your Polaroid, you had to ask your sergeant, and they would check it out. You would get it out of the supply closet, but they didn't just hand them out. So, yes, yeah, I know, Mike. Woohoo! Yeah, I wouldn't do that job now. You can buy those on eBay now. So if somebody's making those, Travis. Yes, I did. Oh, radios. Some things I don't want to. I don't want to even remember. You can buy 16 millimeter. Yeah, I didn't know you could buy the 16 millimeter Patterson reels on Etsy. So if someone's making them, I would assume. Yeah. Anything more satisfying than white vinegar. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move on to. You guys remember this? Travis was just talking about it. This is my Rolly A26, made by Rolly or Rollyflex. Watch this. Ooh, come on now, work with me. There it is. Let's pull it. That is how you advance your 126 film with this camera. Just like so. And then you push this button here on the front for your shutter release. Listen. Ooh. Advance again. And this, kids, is what Travis was just talking about. This is a 126 film cartridge. And to give you some idea of the size, that's the 110 cartridge that we just talked about. So you can see the size difference. Very similar design. It was made to just drop in. And it was their attempt, it's 35 millimeter film, essentially, inside. And it was their attempt to, you know, make it easy, I guess. And I think my wife and kids just got home, so you may hear my dog. But with this particular camera, you would push there's a little red dot there on the bottom, and you hold that in, and then you pull. That's how you load it. See there? You set your 126 cartridge, backwards, inside your camera. This cartridge has already been exposed, but close it back up. And you're done. Oh, why don't we not do that? God, I think I just broke it. Yeah, I forgot to close the, I don't think this camera works, by the way. Anyway, so that's 126 film. This is live for you kids. Yeah, it's stuck now. There. Yeah, you do have to, I wasn't paying attention, you do have to close the little curtain there before you break your camera. Oh man, there. Woo! We got it. Now, I'm not going to be able to advance the film because it's already been advanced. But this is how it would come, just like this. And these were 12 exposures right there. Can you see that? How many people are commenting that I broke my... At least that was 126. Yeah, Kodak was ruthless. The frames on 126 is square and not... Yes, they are square. That's right. Nope, every format change was Kodak's method of locking in film prime. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. Hi, Piper. Hi, Katerina. My kids are here. You want to come say hi? Piper wants to say hi real quick. Hi, honey.
Hi.
They just went to the store. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, film people.
Hi, film people.
All right, love you. That's Piper. That's Katerina. All right, so anyway, that's how the film would come. This is a new-ish 1994 process buy, and there is a very good chance that this will not come out very well. But if you're interested, you can go to Eckerd's and ask about it. Kodak was, yeah, they were. Didn't have a chance keeping up. No, they didn't. Mike, hey, everybody saying hi, Piper. All right, so that's 126. Hello, my wife is there. I'm going to take this roll out, or this cartridge out. And one of these days, I think I'm going to do a video on this as well. And we will. I picked this up, by the way, at a thrift store, little Rolleiflex. They're not worth a lot of money, but Rolly is a great cam. I loved my Rolly 35 that my friend let me borrow for a while and then stole back from me since it was theirs. I think I got this for $5. Great little camera. Anyway, what's going on? Hey, Russell. I shot some late 60s 16mm Kodachrome 2 last week and used Caffenol after watching one of the videos and got some really good black. Oh, that is awesome. Russell, did you, I'm hoping well, maybe you can tell us, you overexposed the heck out of it, I think. We were talking about Kodachrome a little bit earlier and how tough it can be to get, you know, halfway decent images out of it. Now, lastly, of the old forgotten formats, you guys may or may not have ever seen or heard of the Minox. Now, full disclosure, I've never used this, ever. I have another one as well. I don't think it's Minox. I think it's another 16mm little spy camera, you know, the little... but I do have, I had a few rolls of this old film as well, and this is Minox film. Boom, this is how it came. I don't know if I'm going to open this or not, because I have kept this frozen until this live stream, but here is the camera. And just like the old 110 camera, this also came in a nice, beautiful presentation case. See that? And it has a little filler right here. It took some accessories. You take this out, you could put your roll of film and strap and things like that in there, and your battery. So to be totally honest with you, I haven't had this camera out a whole lot, but this is Minox, and it takes 16mm film, perfless film, I believe. Travis, help me. I believe it was perfless film, and this is a flash, I believe, or a flash attachment that we're not going to really deal with right now, but this was your Minox. Boom. And I think you guys are going to have to help me with this a little bit. By the way, I think this has film in it from back in the day when I first got it. And it's the same principle as 126, where that advances your film. So I'm pointing this right at the camera and a bright light, and if the film does get exposed, it will be blown out. But that's how you advance your film. Boom, click. So when you close it, it just advanced. Now it's ready to go. They use these, I guess they were designed for, you know, I didn't do anything, you know, that kind of stuff, documents, things like that. But they're very interesting. Now, here's my iPhone, there's my pencil, and here's the camera. Look at that. Look at the size difference. You could literally get about 4 of these on my iPhone. 2, 3, 4, 5.5, 6 of them. I mean, they're tiny. It's really well built too, by the way. And this film, if you can find it nowadays, usually on eBay or Etsy or something, it's not that cheap anymore. Well, because they don't make it. But you can reload it, I believe. I haven't tried, like I say. Let me see if this is... Let's just open it. Look at that. It comes in a cool little case. Oh yeah. Hope you're not supposed to do this in the dark. Okay, you guys remember the 110 cartridge, right? Remember the 110 cartridge? The little tiny 110? Here's the Minox. Wow. That is small. That doesn't even look like 16mm though. That looks smaller. Does that looks smaller to me than 16mm. So we're gonna have to do a little research on this, because I might be wrong. I know it's rare, but I might be wrong. That was my wife choking on something. Maybe she was choking on my comment. Somebody help me out. Why is that? Oh, it's 9.2. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking it was 16, but I think they do make, I think I have one. Don't they make 16mm spy cams? Yes, they do, because I have one somewhere. And we're going to bring that out at some point. Not this live stream, but we will. really small opera glasses. Yeah, I don't know how many frames you get with one of those. This is something we're really going to have to explore because this is so interesting to me. And you guys have to know too. It's not super lightweight. I mean, it is probably less than 8 ounces, but it's heavy duty feeling. It's got a lot of good. It feels like you're holding a piece of solid aluminum in your hands or something like that. It's a real nicely built little camera. So we're going to have to delve into this Minox. That's a Minox EC. I don't know what the EC stands for. Maybe someone else does. But lost format, that's for sure. So let me put this aside and let's talk about a few things. Really small. Macro binoculars. Gotta love Wikipedia. Yeah, thanks, Travis. Travis just did a link to, I'm assuming, the Minox. I know we're about 55 minutes in, and one thing I want to touch on really quick is the little film festival that we've been talking about. Before we go, I do want to mention I talked to a couple of my advisors, and I did get somebody that was a little concerned about it, and certainly everybody's going to have their opinions. Someone made a comment about it being maybe, and again, I'm not bad-mouthing anyone at all because everyone's going to have their own opinions on it, but thought maybe we were swaying away from the camaraderie and the whole feel of community when it comes to sharing your film and your work. And I respected that comment, but I also don't think they understood really what this is. I got the feeling that they thought maybe that this was more like they were upset that I had mentioned $5 donation that would 100% go towards a prize or prizes for winners, and thinking that it became more of a, now it's a competition, it's a contest, we shouldn't be battling each other. And again, I totally understand where the person was coming from, but it is a film festival, and I've been in thousands, probably, film festivals in my life, and that's what they are. They're competitions. This isn't a showcase. We can do that any day. We can post our own films anywhere we want, and we can do that if you guys would prefer. If you guys want to just have a space where we can show our films, I'm 100% okay with that as well. I thought a festival might be kind of fun, a very small, very simple little film festival, and I'm not even sold on the fact that $5 from everybody is a good idea. I might just donate a couple of prizes and call it good. But I was sad to see that somebody thought that it was not a camaraderie type event, because I really think it is. I think it does bring people together, and I think it kind of forces you to do some of your best work. I know it always did for me when we did festival films. So with that, I do want to keep the festival alive, and it is a horror or sci-fi fantasy themed festival. So I think what we're going to do, many people have asked, is have a deadline of October 1st. That gives everybody about 5 months, is that right? May, June, July, August, September? Yes, it gives everybody about 5 months to dig out your cameras, test a roll of film. Processing can sometimes take a little time, scanning, editing. So I think that October 1st would be a good deadline to have all of the films submitted. Keep that in mind. I don't have all of the details worked out yet as far as where we're gonna show the films, whether it be on my website or maybe I'm gonna have you guys upload them individually in a private link or something. We're gonna work all that out, but as of right now, consider the deadline for our premiere Filmboy24 Super 8/8mm Film Fest, online film fest, to be October 1st. That's the deadline to get the films. And by the way, if you send a film, it will be part of the competition. I think that's another thing, and Lawrence kind of explained that, or went to bat for me, and I appreciate that, Lawrence, but it's not an entry fee. It was never intended to be an entry fee. It was intended to be just a donation towards the prizes. So if the film is entered, it's not, you don't have to get picked to be in this film festival. If you enter a film, you're in the festival. Does that make sense? So I think that's where the sort of the wires got crossed. Let's see. I want to see all the films. Everyone is nominated. Yes, Lawrence, 100%. Pentax made in-depth interchangeable motor drive SLRs. Yeah, I want one of those, by the way. And I don't know what to call you. That's NN Ragnar. I'm going to call you Ragnar. But yes, I want one of those. I can't remember what they call, but interchangeable lenses. It was very much like a 35mm camera, but it was 110, and it was and you could get lots of different lenses. I love that. I like the juice from being creative for a fest. Yeah, I think it gives people more of an incentive to do their best work. I do. Not that anybody would not do that anyway, especially if you want to showcase your work. But October 1st, great. All right, Mike, I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna hold you to it. Yeah, APS. Some of those old APS cams are tricky. I've had a few that just didn't work. Halloween, yes, Lawrence. That's what I was thinking. I was talking to Travis about it, I think, and my friend Jupes. And the pencils. Don't forget the pencils. Good, Lyle. Thank you. 2 pencils. If you're gonna start your film, there has to be 2 yellow pencils in one scene. Not 1 pencil, 2. If you're in Europe, check out process and scanning from, what is that, Mutascan? Mutascan. Thank you, Lyle, for pointing that out. If you're in Europe, check out Mutascan. And they process and scan. Good. Perfect timing for horror, yes. What is the duration of entries? Oh, Russell, I should bring that up too. Maximum 5 minutes. There's no minimum. The maximum duration, and that includes if you're going to put credits or anything, the actual play time of the film, no more than 5 minutes. We will set a file size limit too, probably. Probably going to depend on where we upload to, and I'm thinking also 1080p as opposed to 2K. You can get it scanned at any resolution. Obviously, the higher the better. But final output, it's probably going to be 1080p. Don't forget the pencils. Yes, the pencils. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna hold off on the money right now. And that again was only just going to be just so I didn't have to put everything up. But I don't mind. I have plenty of things I could probably donate. So we're probably going to not worry about money. 2 rolls, about 5 minutes. Yeah, Barry, 2 rolls, 5 minutes. I think that's about it for the festival. And Travis texted me the other day and mentioned and asked if it could be a documentary style horror, and yes, it can. As long as the theme of your overall narrative project is horror or science fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, then yeah, I don't care what format it is. And I don't think anybody's going to care anyway, so. Oh, thanks, Lyle. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Radios, just email me. We'll talk about that. Yeah. So that's all I have. We're a little over an hour, but I don't mind going for another few minutes. If you guys have any film jab you want to talk about, anything in particular, like I say, I love these talks. I love regular film chat. It's a lot of fun for me. I look forward to it. So, this is new, good. Is it self-processed? No, Russell, does not have to be self-processed. I do mine, but no, not at all. Don't be sorry for the questions. And I will at some point have an outline, a complete sort of just 1-page sheet of everything that needs to be known. But no, and most people don't self-process their film or scan it, so no, it doesn't have to be. And I was torn between, I have so many viewers that are not here in the U.S. I'm based in Florida. And I have a lot of viewers that are not in the U.S. So I was torn between the winners, or if you enter, you have to be in the U.S. And I don't want to do that. And the only reason I had even considered that was because if I'm going to ship a camera to a winner, it's going to be very expensive to ship a camera to to Poland or Australia or wherever it might be. Yeah, Russell, I'm not going to limit it. I may do something a little different if the winner is not in the U.S. It may be more of a gift card or something like that. We'll see. Because it can get very expensive on my end. I am by no means loaded. Yeah, no, you're right, Lyle. I do need to get that sheet going. Looking for a drive belt for the Filmo 70HR 400-foot mag. Mike, if you know the size of the belt, Travis might have some information on that. He has an IMO that I believe we have a drive belt for. I don't know if they'd be the same belt or not, but Travis might know what you're talking about. The Celluloid Alchemist. But I know you can get. I use for my CP16. I use O-rings, the right size O-rings. Better do that, yes. Accessories for Cinekodak specialists and special, if anyone knows. I almost bought one of those Cinekodaks, but I thought better of it. Those are so cool. Here for the filmmaking, yeah. I have the address in the USA. Gift card for possible overseas winner. It's easier. Yeah. Again, I thought about reaching out to FPP. I don't know. Does anybody that's not in the U.S., do you order from the Film Photography Project? And if you do, is it very expensive shipping? I'd like to know that. Well, Travis, he needs a drive belt for the Filmo, not the IMO. But I didn't know. It was for the 400-foot mag, but I didn't know if it'd be the same or not. Oh, Mike, are they really heavy? I did not know that. The Cine Specials. That's the ones you could put you put the magazine on them, right? They're all metal, looks like. Talk about the film form. Yeah, 9.5. I actually thought about 9.5. My scanner will scan 9.5. I don't have the guide for it, but it has the capability. But it was pretty popular. Yeah, Lenny Lipton. I love his books. 9.5 was popular for a while. Pathé was, I think, one of the few cameras that you could buy for 9.5 millimeter. Camera's over 8 pounds. Sheesh. I guess that's my CP16 is loaded down. It's 17 pounds or something like that. I was loaned an Olympus style Zoom 105. I have one of those, a stylus Zoom 105, I believe. It takes less than half of whatever picture amount roll I use, then rewinds. Oh wow, that sounds like a Renee. That almost sounds like an electrical problem with those, because those are all. There's so many electronics inside those cameras. That's definitely what it sounds like. Those are hard to get working ones too sometimes. Yeah, radios. I love Florida. The heat is unbearable sometimes. It's very humid, a lot of bugs, but I like Florida. I've been here for 45 years. Maybe closer to, yeah, 45. Yeah, I've been having issues finding those type of belt because of the wheel. You can't use O-rings like you can for cameras. Oh, the wheel drive is inside. Okay. It has a housing over it. Yeah, guys, check out if you're not in the States, check out. I might reach out to Kodak as well. I have a connection at Kodak. I might email and find out if they're interested in donating a couple of brand new rolls of, I don't know, 50D or Ektachrome or something, Super 8 to the winner. So we'll see. I will work out the prizes one way or another, and I know Kodak ships everywhere, so we'll see if we can get Kodak to help us out. Yeah, that's Renee. That's what I'm afraid. It's probably an issue with the electronics. Those things are so finicky. I've had a bunch of those stylists, those old Olympus stylists. They're great cameras, but man, are they finicky. Yeah, Mike, I'm thinking somehow or another I'm either going to have, um, and if I have to pay for it, I'm okay with it. You guys are awesome just for watching. But I'm either going to probably have FPP or Kodak. I would love to have Kodak help me out with it. And like I say, I have a guy that I email with pretty regularly. He watches my channel, so I'm not sure if he watches the streams or not. But I may get with him and see if they're even just a roll or two. I know it's expensive, so it would help out. That maybe I could just send them the address of the winner and they could send them a couple rolls of film. That would be great. We'll see. But anyway, guys, we're at about 10 minutes over, so I'm going to wrap it up. I had a lot of fun. Today I bought a Nowcom. Oh, the Nowcom. I almost bought one of those. Damn you for bringing that up. Russell. Super 8 camera from Facebook Marketplace. Anyone used one before? I have not used one. The Kodak Atlanta people I've heard a lot of good things from, and Celluloid Alchemist uses them. He's used them quite a bit, so he might tell you. The Nowcom FTL. I almost got my hands on one, and they wanted $50 for it, but I didn't get it. Yeah. Oh, 20 pounds. Wow, that's a steal. I know they have removable lenses, but I don't think it's any mount that's sort of a normal mount, I don't believe. They're good-looking cameras. They're really cool. They're very, yeah, they're just cool-looking cameras. I've not used one. Your Revere 8 cartridge. Yeah. Doesn't matter what we do for the good vibes and community we have here. Some people always feel hurt or negative. You know, you're right, Lyle. You can't please everyone, and that's okay. But like I say, I like to feel like that particular person was just, I mean, he's very passionate about film, and I can appreciate that. I really can. I would never say anything negative about what their comment. Kind of like Hasselblad. Yes, Russell, it does. It has that thicker, black-bodied Hasselblad look. I have a Nowcom 1000 CLAs with an adapter with link to. Wow, Lawrence, that sounds awesome. What a great stream. I didn't even notice the 360 resolution. Great content, Mike. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Piper's waving to me. Thank you. And I'm going to try to get that fixed by the time I stream next Sunday. But it is way past my time, and I think she's trying to get some of my time. So she's going to say goodbye. That's my beautiful Piper. I love we can voice our concerns. Absolutely, Lyle. Anytime. I will see all of you. Hopefully, come back next Sunday. I'm going to have a found film. There she goes. Next go around. I'm going to have a found film coming out in the middle of the week. And it's probably going to be another cameraman Mike. So keep an eye out. Hey, they're saying bye, Piper.
Bye.
Good talk. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, guys. Keep an eye out. I will see everybody on the
Next go round.
See you guys.